Hello, good morning. It is 7:18 and I'm trying to get my phone to use the goddamn data on my SIM card. It's not loading fucking Google Map, which I don't understand. So I'm gonna turn it off and turn it back on. But anyway, I'm heading to the, oh damn, there's the bus. Well, it is what it is. I'm going to get a bus, whatever bus shows up, to go to the station. And then from the station, I'm gonna go to do the subway. So that's the plan, at least. If my phone can restart, that would be great. But anyway, so I wanted to leave a little bit earlier, but I figured I would eat a little bit first, just so I'm not running on empty the moment I start. Oh wait. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Alright, I got my phone starting, which is good. I didn't charge my phone last night, which was silly, so I'm at 67%. It's actually pretty cool out right now. Well, that's the whole point of me doing this early, so. Later. Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna use Google Map. There we go. Vatican City. Let's see what I can find. Directions. 58 minutes. Wow. Okay, that seems... Okay, I guess I'm doing a different route. The shortest route seems to be 2 buses. I take the 309 and then ride 8 stops to the Magnifico place. And then I take 62 and ride 22 stops. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's one way I'm gonna do it. Might as well. But yeah, so I guess I'll just wait for the 309, which is gonna show up in 20 minutes. Oh, well, I'll get there in the time that I'll get there in the right time, is effectively what I'm trying to say here. Maybe this route is actually just better for me in the long run, because it still takes me about 50-ish minutes. So yeah, but looking for the 309. Okay. I could have also done a scooter, but I just didn't want to do a scooter for 45 minutes. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna do that. But all right, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will talk to you when I get there. All right, bye. Alright, I'm back. I just got off the bus. Now I gotta figure out where I'm going. It's like about a 10 or 11 minute walk away. So, let's see, where am I going? Okay, I'm supposed to go this way. I see. Anyway, I'm gonna put this around my arm. Okay, good. That went surprisingly well. So now I gotta figure out where I'm going, but so far so good. It's 8:30. Could have been earlier, but you know, I think I'm arriving at the right time. So now, to be fair, there's a lot of people that are going this way, so maybe they're going the same way. Who knows? Oh wow. You see, I like all the little columns and everything. That's cool. Okay, I guess we loop around.
Hermano, o stesso voi. Ma no, o stesso voi.
This is really cool. You'll see it in a second, but okay, so I guess yeah, that's super neat. You'll see it from the other side. It'll probably be a better view. And I'll oh, there's a fountain coming up.
This is not the museum.
Alright.
Rosario per l'udienza del Papa, ieri Rosario.
Alright. Here, let me do a quick spin around. That's super cool. Here, let's go up to the fountain. I know I'm supposed to go, I think I'm going over to the left eventually, but yeah, oh, here's the arches and the pillars that I was talking about. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, here, let me show you. That's cool. And then we got the little needle standing up there, and then I mean, I gotta get a good thing of the archway. Right, take a look at that. That's really cool. You know, I should walk around a little bit. It's kind of cool. I'm not saying too much because I just want to get a nice little then behind me you can see a bit in the distance that. That's cool. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. Pretty cool. Ooh. Wanna do the corridor shot down here? That would be cool. I've wandered a little bit off from the path, but that's okay. This is all about enjoying the time and exploring. And then here I'll do the behind me. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go. Let's go in the direction of everyone else. Because it seems like they know where they're going, I think. I'm gonna get a good shot of this over here. This is a very cool area. Take a look. Can't see very well, so I'm squinting my eyes, but you guys should have gotten a good view. Where the fuck are all these barricades? Guess I'll go this way. The bell has tolled. Oh man, I don't really know what I'm actually gonna do here other than just look around. Probably, I guess the main thing is just to make sure that I don't overheat. So I think I want to start heading back at around like 10, I think. That's my initial shot. Or my initial estimate, if I can. Because it really, I want to get back before 12. Okay. How the fuck? Okay, I guess I'm supposed to go this way. What? I'm going around town. Okay. I'm back in the shade, which is great. I'm wondering if there's like some sort of event that's going on. I don't understand. Well, I guess I'm just confused. Huh. I guess I do a loop around or something. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm really unsure. I'm like doing this wrong. I don't know. Alrighty then. Guess I'm gonna just loop around and see. I'm not really too sure. Oh, I guess we're just going on in a little adventure. The whistle guy. He seems to really like to blow his whistle. He's very serious. Okay, well. I don't know if I'm actually going to go inside or not. We'll see. We shall see. But, I don't know. It's just walking around, I guess, and figuring it out. I can already feel the heat starting to rise, so I'm hoping that we can take a look at something. I get the feeling I'm just like going further and further away, but you know, if we just walk the whole way around the outside, that's okay. I really like this lake. Look at that behind me. That's cool. I just like the little corridor that it makes. Well, I mean, I'm definitely in the right place. I just unsure on the specifics. Man, if it was this warm out the whole time, I feel like I would have gone outside a lot more. Well, lesson learned for the future. Go outside really early if I want to go and see things when it's really hot. Because if I do that, you know, I can vibe in AC for the, I don't know. Oh wow, look at this. I'll show you, look at that. That's really cool. I will say, we have gone clear across to the other side, so. These walls are pretty tall. I'm gonna say so, you know. I think it encases the whole inner part. I mean, obviously, of course it does, but this is nice shade. You know, there's something about having all the buildings really stacked. It provides a lot of shade. Obviously, adding trees also helps. Like, yeah, like, you know.
Bueno, vamos.
Excuse me, sorry. Okay. Well, people are streaming in this direction, so that's something. I do like the building layout overall. There's like a lot of character in a lot of the buildings. Different styles, different layouts, but almost everyone, or almost all the buildings have like this like what's it called?
You have shoulder cover?
Oh, what is this? Huh. Oh, maybe this is the entrance to the museum, maybe? It's a decent line back there.
Disability?
There's the entrance. Or, sorry, I guess that's the exit. Oh, wow. And I guess this is tickets. Oh, Jesus.
What time the ticket, guys?
This line is insane.
I know. What time? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily want to go inside. I'm sorry. This is crazy. I mean, it's just... wow. The line just keeps going. It's so insane. Look at that. Finally ends over here. And I think this is for the tickets. It's like, oh my gosh, ticket people. That's insane. I don't think I want to do that. That first line that was a lot shorter. I think that's for the people without tickets, which is crazy that the ticket line is so much longer. Oh boy. At least I'm in the shade. I bet I'll be in the shade the whole other side too. So, doing some perimeter walking, I guess. You know, I probably wasn't going to be able to film inside anyway. So, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the internal, like, looking at all the, you know, I know there's a lot of like paintings and stuff. Also, I love the colors of the buildings, all the different styles as we pass them. But, I don't know, like, do I really care about looking at the paintings and all the other stuff? Yeah, it's cool, but I don't know. Never been a big fan of looking at different paintings and whatnot. I think the thing for me has always been like the nature. Like, I loved looking at the nature gardens. And it's so funny. I think about how the There's a little white butterfly. I think about how what am I fucking trying to say? God damn it. I don't know. It's already, my brain's already melting. I think doing a loop around the Vatican, it's just, I've never been impressed with, like, I don't know, art, but it's not really art. It's specifically like, I look at the paintings and I know that before the digital age, I think that would be like a magnificent, awesome, cool thing to do. Go to art galleries and see the different paintings and be there and see the physical medium. But I feel like for me, a lot of the charm of all of that has kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of, okay, this is such a dangerous corner. Yeah, it's never been my thing. Same with like history in general. It's not that I don't care about history, but yeah, just hasn't been my thing. Now this is a really cool let me see if I can, yeah, I'm gonna go across the street and then, well, I mean, I guess I can probably, you guys see what I was talking about behind there? It's pretty cool. But I like the structure, like seeing the actual structure of things matters, I think, more than all the other like interior art and design. Not because I think the interior art and design stuff are dumb or anything, but I don't know. Nature excites me way more, and I get more interested in like a nature thing. Like if the Vatican inside was a bunch of like beautiful gardens and whatnot, I'd be all over that. I want to see all of it. So, which is funny, that's why the roommate's like, well, why the fuck did you go to Rome if that's the case? I'm like, well, I don't know, like, I just felt like coming to Rome. Well, I mean, you guys know already. Need to blow my nose. Hold on. Oh. All right, I'm back. Sorry. I am sweating, but I'm not dying, which is great. My main idea, don't touch my fucking eyes. Just wipe away the sweat away from me, because my hands are compromised with the moment I wipe the sweat. I get some of the sunscreen on them, which I think is my problem last time I fucked with my eyes, and then I got stuff in my eye. So we're gonna try to avoid that. Here I can. That's cool. I will say the buildings and whatnot, human ingenuity, seeing the different, like I said before, every building kind of just has character. And I think that's one thing that we've kind of lost. Ooh, these are pretty. Take a look at this. That's cool. But I think that's something that we kind of lost in at least the West Coast. There's a lot of minimalism because it costs more to do buildings like this. Plus, all of the companies that lobbied to make sure we only used wood as our foundational building material, which again is stupid. But, you know, when you have an excess amount of wood and you're able to offload that to have people make houses that decay, it's like, yeah, makes sense.
So you know.
So, because God forbid we have structurally sound buildings that last for decades and decades. But, you know, that's a whole other topic. But man, this wall really just, it does go all the way around. Aw. I think one of the reasons that I enjoy looking at the architecture of the outside of buildings so much is because I keep kind of thinking about how I want to structure the ability to build cool, unique structures like this with minimal effort. Like, what are the foundational principles that a lot of these buildings operate under? So that it's like, what are the core what are the core technologies and structural pieces? And so looking back on it, being like, yeah, these are just, you know, rectangular boxes that have smaller rectangles inside of them. And it's just rectangles inside rectangles inside rectangles. This is cool. But, you know, and then there's obviously different textures for the buildings, but I don't know. It's it's interesting to see. And it gives me a lot of ideas on like, okay, like it kind of is going back to the game idea where I don't know if you guys have ever played Spore, but in Spore, you create a little dude. It starts out as like a little tadpole thing, and you kind of build monster parts on it to give it abilities, and then you create like an ecosystem with more of the creature, and you evolve, and it's a whole thing. Oh, look at this. This is cool. That tower kind of reminds me of like the Bombard towers in Age of Empires 2. Anyway, so my thought is like seeing the different structures and how they're kind of put together, I can get an idea of like, okay, I want my game to have elements of the Spore system of building creatures, where the creatures have like, they effectively get different abilities depending on what kind of gets equipped to them, or what different parts they use. Ooh, this would be a cool little thing here. Here you can see, like, I don't know if it got a good view of that, but ooh, okay. Here, take a look at this. I'm starting to get a good view behind me of parts of the interior. I bet I could probably get an even better view. So like the exterior buildings are always so cool to look at. Like, I don't know, like, look at this guy. He's coming into stark view in a second. All right. You can see what I'm talking about, where it's like, that's really cool, at least to me. Why is it cool? Because it allows me to visualize a new way of structural building that then I can use and figure out like the different ways you can build a wall, as an example. Like, you know, this is a cool little wall with the little holes. You have the wall on the other side that's different. They all have their own unique touches to them. So, yeah, that's cool. That's the 46. But yeah, so back to the like game idea. So the thing for the game, there's kind of I guess I'll just talk about the different phases. The first phase is like, there's this game called, it was like the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot or whatever. And it was way ahead of its time, I think, as a game. It just unfortunately kind of closed. And no game has really done what that game did since. Ooh, this is a really good view of this. Here, let me turn around, show you guys. That's cool. But anyway. So, the Epic Quest for Mighty Loot, the whole premise of that game, was you'd build a dungeon, and then this is a little fun thing here. I like seeing the corridors, the street corridors. You can tell a lot about a city from their corridors. But anyway, so ooh, look at this. Here, hold on. I do love me some vegetation. This is a great view right here. And you can kind of see the archways that are peeking through. And then over there is they got some stuff going on there. But anyway, so, you know, this is actually a great spot to take a break for a second. It's been 43 minutes. I just want to get some water. This time I have my backpack, so, and I put the electrolytes in here, which is big. So, how am I gonna? I guess I'll hold you guys like this. You guys are just gonna watch me drink. Sorry. Well, you know, actually, I can probably just do this. Whew, that's good. And I need to blow my nose, so we're just doing all sorts of things right now. Okay. I like this little, like, triangular kind of end building. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's like it comes this way, or it goes this way and then that way, so it makes like a wedge. So I just thought that was cool. All right. I can actually set you guys down. I didn't think about it, but I could have actually set you guys down over here a while ago. And I would have had a better spot. All right. Oh, 4444. Nice. Okay. So, so the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. You make these dungeons. Oh, what the fuck? This is cool. Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, this is like for trains. It's like a old train rail. Oh, that's fucking sick. We'll have to... Oh, that's what the arches are. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, getting train stuff, deliveries and whatnot to the Vatican through these like rails makes a lot of sense. Here, take a look. So you got this side. Then here, I'll stick you guys through. See? Alright. Hopefully you guys got a good shot of that, but that's really cool. Okay, and then I guess I could go down that way, but I'm thinking probably this way. This is a nifty little spot though. You see the different buildings and whatnot. And then, here, that's cool. Okay. That's neat. But anyway, so this like this dungeon game. One of the coolest things about this dungeon game, and why I think it was ahead of its time, so you build a dungeon. There's the stairs. You build a dungeon, and then from the dungeon, you basically build a bunch of traps and whatnot, and then you put like a chest as the like, you can put creatures there too, or traps and whatnot, and the goal is to get your hero that you have in the game to dungeon traverse the built dungeon and get the treasure chest, so you can loot to get resources, so you can buy more dungeon stuff for your dungeon. And so it was a PvP style thing, and the longer your dungeon lasted without people beating it, the more resources you would get. And so it was asynchronous in that you could oh yeah, there's, ooh, look at that. That's a great shot. But yeah, so you could you had, in order for your dungeon to be put up on the marketplace for other people to fight, you had to make sure that you could run your dungeon. Jesus, fucking bees. So that made it to where you had to do it somehow. Otherwise, impossible for you to upload it. So there was this whole economy and you could trade your like different creatures and different traps and whatnot. You could trade with other people. I think I did the full loop. I'm pretty sure I'm back where, in the general area where I started. I think. I guess just to make sure, I'll do the final part of the loop. But yeah, so anyway, so the point is, what I thought was cool about that is you got to build your own layouts and, you know, the different dungeon rooms, and it was self-balanced in that if you're really good, you can make your dungeon really hard, because part of the whole thing was you doing the like looping thing to be able to run your dungeon. If you can't run your dungeon, can't post it up, you can't get resources. So you had to have something, some sort of build that you created. Now, to be fair, this is where I think this game lacked. It didn't have a very good way for you to like run the dungeon with like special characters. You just had one guy, and it had like a little dash, and that was kind of it. So that's kind of where I think having like an actual really cool dungeon crawling thing with like an actual character with different stats and different abilities, and you know, you can make like a tanky character, have different classes, that would be like really cool in that game. And it would open up like so much more for that dungeon. But anyway, so that's the general concept. And so looking at the different structures of buildings, I'm thinking about a way to kind of bring that into the new era of like, you know, have better graphics and allow people to be a little more like, play a lot more with the like structure and like building your own creatures and all of that stuff. Okay, now before I go on, yeah, I did in fact loop all the way around. So what I'm trying to do now is go back to... Did I not bookmark it? What the fuck? How did I not bookmark where I live? Fuck. Huh. Okay, well, I'll have to go on Airbnb and then mark the place down. Okay, right, so this is where I'm at. Yeah, let's do this. Get directions. Save this place. Okay. Directions. So I could walk 18 minutes to MA, then get MB, then bus. I could do that. That sounds fun as the way to get home. Let's do that. Okay, so I need to go this way. Okay. Should have enough battery. I don't have to change it before I get there. Well, 15 minutes? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I probably can make it before. Okay. So, I'm gonna go on this side, I think. Do. Right, and then I do the loop. Okay, I see. So I am full circling, which is fine. But, yeah. So, what it looks like is I do the loop around, and then, you know, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get any food. I thought about it. Yeah. Now, I'm letting you guys know if for some reason the video cuts out before I finish. Just know that, like, I'll talk to you when I get off the bus back home with the new battery. So I'm just gonna run it until I have no more. I guess I'll just do this like interior walk. This is cool in its own way, but yeah. Anyway, so back to the game stuff. So my thought is, make a game with a lot more customization for the way you build your dungeons and whatnot, and that'll be the foundation to also allow you to do, like, an example. Let's say you want to build multiple dungeons. Well, I want to have like a home base that you can build, where you have like your industrial section that like helps you generate resources. Okay, what the fuck? Did I fuck up here? God damn it. Oh, okay. I can go this way. My goodness, there's so many people here. Anyway, you know, being able to build like a home base, have like a fun little aesthetic, like housing structure. It'd be kind of cute to be able to, all of your like little dungeon monsters and whatnot that you have, being able to have them, what's it called? Have them like live in different structures in your like little town that you make. That'd be really fun.
They don't use miles in England, they use miles. So they're all kilometers.
Okay. I guess I gotta keep going. Am I gonna get stopped? No, I'm gonna go on the edge, the wall edge. Okay. It's blinking, like telling me you're low on battery. I get it. But yeah. So that's like the phase one, is getting a really cool building structure that I can do so that with the building structure, oh, it's really low. So with the building structure, you know, just being able to build a dungeon, build a little fun, like, village place, and build like an industrial park thing. That's like phase 1. So that's what I want to be working on. You know, similar concept, but for the creatures, being able to allow for custom building of your creatures. That's another thing where it's like, that would be cool. So yeah, and then that by itself can be its own like game, and then eventually introducing a like crafting thing of some sort. That would be cool. But that's kind of later. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea, and I hope that I can kind of make it happen. I'm probably going to do it in Unreal Engine 5. Although, before I do that, I'm going to check to see if there's any tools that might be usable in like Unity or, you know, whatever. So, I mean, it's gonna cut off any minute here. I'm just gonna let you guys go. So I'll talk to you guys when I get home. Okay? Bye. All right, hey guys. I just got off the bus. Made it back successfully. It was one stop earlier than I thought. I probably could have done the other stop, but you know, I stopped where I knew. I've already done like basically 9,000 steps at this point, so that's great. It's still early, which is nice. So, you know, I'm back in the neighborhood. I'm gonna see if that sandwich place is open and get sandwiches there. If they're not, then I'll probably just eat the food that I have, and then later in the day I'll either order something or go out. I can't tell. We'll find out together. But yeah, this was really good. I'm very proud of myself that I got up early, did the whole like thing. I walked around the Vatican, chatted with you guys a little bit. It wasn't like the most amazing chat, but you know, damn, I think they're closed. That's a bummer. I mean, it's okay if they are, but yeah, I chatted a little bit about the like game stuff and the reasons why I like looking at the buildings, like the exteriors. Don't get me wrong, interiors are also important, but like, I don't know, figuring out how to get the exteriors I think is like more important at the moment. Morning. Cute dog. Anyway, are they closed? Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's okay. I'm here. So I guess this is a really short part, but I will talk to you guys a little bit later once I've kind of vibed, settled down. But yeah, we walked around the outside of the Vatican. We got to see some stuff. I'm glad that I didn't, I don't know, like, I'm glad I didn't go inside. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I just didn't want to wait in the lines, and we wouldn't have been back, and I would have had to, hi, and I would have had to deal with the, I don't know, just like midday heat. I just didn't want to deal with that. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, see ya. Bye. All right, hello. I'm dragging you closer. I just got done brushing my teeth, so my shirt got a bit wet from all the water splashing. Okay, so it's 7:11 p.m. I mean, I guess that makes sense because earlier you guys saw me at the Vatican, which, I just want to kind of mention. I thought about the whole, like, me walking around the whole outside of the Vatican, not going inside, and all of that stuff. I think that was fine. Did I want to go inside? I don't think so. I genuinely, I don't know. It was cool to just be there. I went to the square. I did the different things. That was fine. And I think I'm okay with that being my, like, Vatican experience. What do I say on this? I hope you guys aren't disappointed, is kind of what I'm thinking. Because, both the Colosseum and the Vatican, I didn't go inside. I didn't film inside. To be fair, I don't think I would have been able to film inside on either because they have very strict filming policies and all of this other stuff. What the fuck? My, like, beard got in my mouth somehow. Anyway, so I don't know. I really thought about, like, from a filming perspective, obviously it would have been cool to go inside and show you guys. But if I'm not able to do that, and yeah, I probably could have asked, or I could have set it up way in advance, all of that other stuff. I didn't. So, here we are, effectively. But I don't know. Like, I definitely will take a look at different places. But the main goal for this is not to, like, be a travel blog or vlog that shows all these cool places and sites. My main draw, and the thing that I hope you guys kind of see throughout this kind of journey and progression, is the evolution of thinking that you guys get to see as I go and experience these different things. That and, like, yeah, obviously you guys get to see, like, a unique perspective on these different like areas I go to, because I try really hard to not pick like, here's the touristy place. I'm going to go stay at the touristy place. Although Milan might be kind of touristy in the place I picked. I don't know yet. It's very much more like hotel, like lots of lots of people there. Um, there's a lot of nice amenities though, so I'm looking forward to that. But I don't know. I just want to kind of check and make sure that my experience is authentic as I can be, and I'm showing you guys that like everything, essentially. Um, when I'm not talking to you guys, I'm either like it sounds weird, but it's like I'm either meditating, I'm eating, or like taking a shower or whatever, doing like basic maintenance stuff, or um, I'm thinking about like what my plans are, and like revising and editing and kind of like thinking about like where I want to be and all of these kind of different things. Um, and then obviously, if I'm hanging out with some friends, either new friends or old friends, I don't film those. Um, so again, it's like I want to keep everyone's information private, so I never mention names. The only time that would ever change is if someone specifically is like, "Hey, I'm totally down to be like in a vlog with you, and you can like mention my name or whatever," right? Um, that's when I'm like, okay, like explicitly being like, "Hey, you need to understand that you're putting yourself out there." Obviously, just to a few people at the moment as of recording this, but that's not going to always be the case. So, yeah. But as far as the rest of the day went, I ended up, I wanted to get something with eggs, uh, just to throw in. I wanted to try out the eggs here to see how different they are. They're fine. Like, I think they're distinctly eggs. So I don't know. I couldn't really tell much of a difference in quality on that, but yeah, I had eggs and bacon, and well, it was specifically like I had like an avocado toast with eggs, and then a scrambled eggs with bacon, a little sandwich thing. It was like a bagel, but yeah. So it was good. There's a lot of bacon. I'm definitely I like bacon, but also I don't want to eat bacon all the time. So that's a whole thing. But um, earlier in the day, oh, I got to like almost 13,000 steps. I think I'm at 13,000 steps at this point for the day, which is great. That coupled with the 10K yesterday, um, yeah, like doing some solid exercising. But I originally I was like, okay, fine, let's check out the McDonald's, because there's a McDonald's, and the roommate was like, hey, you should you should try the McDonald's at least once, so you can see the difference um, between like the McDonald's overseas and the McDonald's here, and whatever. Because I guess everywhere is like different. All the fast food chains are just different, regardless of where you go. Like I saw a like nacho. like chicken thing at that was being advertised at KFC, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? um, the McGrim shake or whatever, the purple Grim shake. Uh, that's over here. It's like, that's really funny. Also, they have like just a whole separate like cafe that does like pastries, and you can get like Italian like coffee and stuff like that, which apparently is like decent. Um, and then they have like they're doing like this heist thing where they go across the world and get different menu items and bring them to here, which is interesting. So, um, yeah, but I find it fascinating. So I was thinking maybe tomorrow, if I don't have anything better to do, I can go and get like, I don't know, something dumb that's like just to say that I at least had it once over here, if nothing else. So this is not going to become a thing though of me trying McDonald's everywhere. I do not want to be that guy that does that. Um, I've never been a big fan of McDonald's to begin with. Although remember that's American McDonald's, and American fast food tends to be like not great in general. Like you can just have just rancid like stuff. So we're going past edible and into the like diabolical like could kill you territory in some of the places in America. So I think the quality of food is just generally higher here. There are exceptions, I think, but that's with everything. So as long as you're careful about where you go, um, yeah. So like I'm thinking of that really mediocre restaurant that gave me like they did their version of a steak and it was very just like mid. It wasn't bad. It was like okay. So um but yeah. Uh oh right, earlier so I basically had headphones in listening to catching up on a Kumi stream. I haven't watched a lot of her streams recently in the past like week or so. I like fell out of my like streak that I was doing. It was just an 8 stream streak. And then I like I had less incentive to turn it on at 2 a.m. because or like 1 a.m. or whatever. Uh because she streams at really bad hours now for me. So VOD watcher, woo, but yeah, I still enjoy like listening to her streams. And her collabs are very funny too. So, but yeah, so I was listening to that and I was playing this like Pokemon tower defense game, but it wasn't Pokemon. It was like Pokemon esque. You get creatures, you hatch them, you get different creatures, you can level them up and customize them and give them like abilities, and eventually you can like max them all out, but like if you hatch duplicates, you can like buff them up permanently by certain stats. So you can kind of like I don't know about the specifics on how customizable they become, but it's kind of cool. So I've been enjoying just doing a little bit of that. So I'm doing this. I'm just laying back in bed and I'm listening while playing, and fucking like out of nowhere, I just hear what I think is like a bomb just exploding. And I think I'm like, what the fuck just that? What happened there? And then I hear another, and then a car alarm goes off, and I'm is like, is some shit going down? Like, what the fuck's happening? And I think about it for a bit, and I'm like, I mean, if the world's gonna end, let me at least get this level finished. And so I'm just finishing up the level. I'm just vibes, and ends up being like 20 or 30 minutes later. I go out and I want to see like if I can see outside like what's going on. And I see this black cloud above everything. I'm like, oh, it was thunder. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, and I mentioned it to the roommate, and he's like, yeah, that's like a baby thunderstorm. We get like World War III style, or World War IV, or World War X style stuff in the winter. I'm like, oh god. So, but yeah, um, man, it's like 2 days tomorrow. I mean, I got a little bit today, but I'm like, I've already brushed my teeth. I gotta, I'll do like a last bathroom, and then I'll just be like sleeping. I'm obviously gonna vibe for a little bit, I think, but I guess I could like do some morning. Maybe I'll do another morning walk vlog. That seemed to go really well because it wasn't that hot. Um, Let me see. Full forecast. I guess I only got up to 94 degrees. That's huh, interesting. I can never tell with this because it literally said it was going to be 100 today, and then oh yeah, it was. Okay. I fucking hate how it does this. I think it Oh, I see. Okay. It's so the instead of showing the high, it shows the current temperature, I guess. Well, no, because now it's supposed to be 86. So I don't know. I don't understand. It doesn't show the high. It doesn't. It just shows 6 p.m. for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, the high was over 100. Um, so tomorrow it's supposed to be 98 on the high. But yeah, if I wake up at like 6, 7, 6 to 7. I mean, even by 10 a.m. it's like 88. It's like climbs really high. So my thought is if I can go for a walk at like 7 or 8 a.m., dude, that's gonna be like a balmy 70 something. There's no rain or anything. Can get some steppies in. It's not a bad idea. Um, because that's the main thing that I've been lacking during this part of the trip is like it's like, oh man, I don't get so much, like I don't get too many steps in. And that's kind of the main source of exercise I've been trying to like do. But I've been waking up so late that like by the time I want to go and do that, it's like fuck, man. Like I don't know. Like it just feels Feels like it's just too hot because it's like 95 or 94 by the time I'm like ready to do things. So, but I have learned now. I'm like, oh, right. I could just be really early in the morning. Um, which it does kind of like fuck things up a little bit in the afternoon because it's like, what do I do in the afternoon aside from just chilling? Um, so, which is fine, but just means I pack everything in the morning, like all the exercise stuff. But maybe I can do another walk. I don't think I'm going to go back into the city on Sunday. Or just Sunday. On Friday, I will be going to this for like a lunch. I think it's like lunch or something, or like slightly in the afternoon. We're gonna go downtown to like the best sushi place, so that'll be fun. I want to compare because the place that the roommate said is like mid, um, is actually just it was like very good. Um, the portion sizes were small, but for an all you can eat place where the portion size effectively is just they're basically trying to fill you up on rice, which just about every sushi place does that, so it's not like specifically for this place. But yeah, it's just a good business strategy to try and reduce the amount of portion sizes. Um, so yeah, and everything tends to be just a bit smaller here to begin with. So um, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's probably smarter to do it that way. But anyway, um, thought a little bit more about the game stuff. I was kind of, I talked about how I want to do some research um, before I lay down code for this. Because in the past, me not doing research has kind of fucked things where I'll spend a ton of time building code that I end up not using because I didn't do research on the like really what I'm going to be using the code for because I just wanted to make the code to begin with. So yeah. And inevitably I don't know if I even want to touch the vibe coding stuff with AI. I think maybe I can like work through a problem with AI, but I don't know if I want to like go down that rabbit hole because inevitably, if I use AI tools, regardless of how small, you have to like disclose that in your game if you're going to put it on Steam, which I do plan on putting it on Steam. So it's like, fuck. Um, so I think probably probably just going to completely steer clear of AI altogether, if I'm going to be honest. I don't use it really ever to begin with. Um, one of my buddies who is like a big novel nerd like I am, he's been writing his story through AI. And while it is cool to see all this stuff get kind of generated and to have a back and forth, the problem that I've noticed with this kind of workflow is you rely on the AI more and more to, like, if you're just not sure what you want something to be, you're just like, oh yeah, AI, just tell me. because, yeah, why think? And it's not that he's not thinking, but it is that, um, he has like hours and hours and hours poured into this AI. And, the outcome is he hasn't written anything. Like he has like the systems. He's done what I used to do a lot. Which was create all the background systems and all of the different like levels and the skills and the this and the that and all of that stuff. But when it came to the actual writing, there was just nothing. And he has a few things that are kind of like AI assisted when it comes to like story plot points and all of that stuff, and some interesting like setting scenes and whatnot that he's kind of worked on. So it's not like he has absolutely nothing. But also, it's like when you do that, the part of the process where you're kind of brainstorming and coming up with stuff and getting your creative juices flowing, that just, it kind of gets circumvented by the AI as you kind of delve deeper. And so I don't want to fall down that slippery slope. So I'd rather not have the temptation to do it the easy way. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm obviously I'm trying to make a product, right? But it's not that I'm just trying to make a product. It's that I'm trying to birth this universe into existence through the writing, through the game, through the like teaching stuff. And so it doesn't make sense to ask for outside input, regardless if it's a friend or an AI, right? Because the AI is outside input. And I don't know. I just feel like the benefits that I would get from writing it and from making it without assistance are much higher than if I was to get assistance from AI. So that's kind of where I'm at. Because I have the tools and I have the skills to be able to do it. I think it really just boils down to like not feature creeping in the beginning and really focusing on a single thing that then I can kind of evolve. I thought about this idea of kind of like reverse what are the nesting dolls, like a reverse nesting doll situation where I start with the most fundamental nesting doll, the smallest piece, and then kind of like just, I don't know, like I think it would be really funny if I did some sort of like, if I literally birthed the game as an example. Just as I would do like the chapter by chapter kind of birthing, if I birth the game in a way where it's like there was nothing, and then there was an island, and then it's like maybe on the island the whole thing is like you like build your creature, and that's the whole game, is just building a creature.
and then you have the creature just sitting there. And it's like, okay, like that's really simple. It's one concept, but it encompasses a lot of like core features that I would want in the game, because in order to make a creature, you need to be able to have like creature parts like you do in Spore, because that's kind of my envisioning for it is like having Spore style like creature creation where you can stretch and do all the different parts and whatever. Um, but where my project kind of differs is you don't get just flat bonuses to the creature for simply putting a part on. I want to have kind of like from simplicity of individual parts, there's a complexity that arises by like intermatching two parts together in some seemingly unique way. And so, with that being said, each part kind of needs to have some sort of like something other than stats. Like maybe a part does have a stat, but aside from that, there should be like synergistic effects with different parts. So an example, maybe you have like a tooth, and that tooth, could even just be a full mouth of teeth, right? But like, it depends on how small I'm going when it comes to like how small is an individual part. That's something I need to think about. But having a set of teeth where you gain a bite attack, it makes sense, right? But with that bite attack, if you have the electric organ that allows you to generate electrical attacks, suddenly the bite becomes some sort of electrical bite that inflicts paralysis. And that's a simple, like, 1-to-1, right? Now, what happens when you get another part that, say it's a, like, antenna, and the antenna allows for melee attacks like bites and claws and tail whips and whatever to like do a phantom second attack. Well, now you have a synergy between the bite, the electric, and the phantom second attack with the antenna. And so you can make like a bite build. And then hey, maybe your creature has multiple mouths. And so if you have more than one mouth, maybe you get like a double bite because there's multiple mouths. So on and so forth, right? So I think having it kind of dynamically shift in that way, where my thought is you have the basic structural outline. I'm just going to give you the basic structural outline of how I'm envisioning this. You have two different types of like effects. You have the passive, which is like stats. And then sometimes there could be passives like damage reduction or whatever, right? Like maybe you're like, oh, I want hide as like my primary creature's material. And hide has damage reduction to certain types of effects, right? Maybe it's like really good against like blunt types of damage. But it's really bad against slashing because hide isn't the same as scales or shell exoskeletons or whatever. And so, you have like that passive of, okay, you take like 10% damage reduction. And then you have the active, which is, well, because it's hide and it has like Maybe it gives you like some special like increase to lightning because it's lightning hide. And so you make like the synergy where the hide gives you elemental boosts because you have the lightning heart, and because you have the bite you get the increased damage with the lightning, and then you have the tentacle like or the appendage that does like the phantom attack, and then maybe you have another ability that allows your bite to be range, so you can bite from like 10 meters away. It's like some sort of spatial thing, and suddenly you have this like really cool like thing, and it's all based on effectively an active and then a passive. And the passive has stats. So like I guess technically it would be three. You'd have an active, a passive, and then you'd have stats. But the stats and the actives and the passives are going to be their power is going to be based on kind of like tiers, because in this universe, something I haven't really like mentioned, in this universe I kind of have like because I've always enjoyed kind of like being very clear on where my power level is. And in a lot of games, sometimes you just see a big number. You don't really actually know how powerful you are relative to other creatures in the game. Yeah, there's like levels, but sometimes levels don't even like demonstrate the difference in power. So my thought is effectively using almost like the black belt like color system. Not exactly, but like using a color system where you have damage colors. Similar to, it's not exactly the same, but in Monster Hunter, they have like the different sharpness levels where it's like some sharpness levels just can't pierce certain creatures, whereas other sharpness levels are just really, really good and they can pierce a lot of creatures. This is a similar concept where if you don't have the proper color, so like if I have like a red defensive color and you are only the tier below it, so maybe you're yellow or orange, let's say you're orange, and it's like your damage tier is orange, so no matter how much orange damage you deal, you can never deal enough damage to break the 1 point of red that is in the next tier. So it kind of makes it to where, yeah, there's the vertical like scaling, but there's also horizontal scaling where you can do like 1 billion orange damage. And that's crazy in the orange areas. But the moment you get to red, it's like doesn't translate over because it's quantity as opposed to quality. So so that's kind of like my thought on there. So my idea is this will make things stay relevant within the tier. So if you want to make an orange tiered dungeon in the future, again, projecting out, you only can use orange tier creature parts. And there's orange tier loot. So you can focus on becoming really good in orange tier. And maybe that's just you really like the orange tier. It has a really good mix of like scalings and all of this stuff. And so you don't feel like you need to do red tier or the higher tiers past that. And so that's kind of like my thought process is mixing. You can be level fucking 500. But if you want to do just orange tier content, you can still just do orange tier content. And again, I'm working on like thinking about it, but like at its core, if I just do a creature building system where the whole game is just build the creature, and then maybe it's like an arena where it's like a pre-built one-on-one, you fight another creature that someone built, similar to the that like Abyss game that I was playing, where you like build a sea creature, and then the sea creature fights the other creature using like predetermined stuff. I'm thinking of kind of like a similar kind of concept like that, but having more depth to the creature building, and also it being like you're allowed to make your creature more distinctive and like all that stuff, but having some sort of asynchronous battle thing, and then that's the whole game, right? I don't have to worry about like the building aspect. I don't have to worry about any other aspects. I just iterate on the creature thing, and that's it. And then once I've kind of locked in a good feeling creature system, then I move to the next kind of thing that I want to implement, and I just build it in my own time. And eventually it's going to be something like really crazy, but I want it to be each iteration, I want it to make sense as its own game. And then I just tack on effectively another game on top of it. But obviously it's still like, I'm still like making patches, but it might be like all of 1.0 patches, 1.0 to, or I guess technically it would be like point or 0 point whatever up to 1.0 is creature. And then creatures get released in 1.0. And then from 1.0 until 1.99, I'm working on like the building. And then 2.0, the building gets shown. And so you'll have like the constant thing of one like demarcation on this is the current system I'm like polishing while I'm building the new system. And so those are the two things I'm working on, and then, shift up, and then now I'm polishing something else, and then I'm working on a new thing, right? And obviously, as it gets more and more systems overlaid on top, I have to be really careful about how they integrate. Ideally, I would like the systems to not directly interact code-wise, where it's like they're all self-contained. If I need something to change within the creature system, then I change it in the creature system, and I don't have to worry about what it might do to the building system. Now, obviously, sometimes that's just not going to work. But having them modular like that, instead of building the systems all in one tangled mess, that allows for better debugging, and like theoretically, if I have the code bases separate to where they don't actually interact at all, aside from like, you'll have the game, like the section of game code where it is like, okay, obviously if I was doing it in Unreal Engine as an example, like the blueprints, you'd have like the creature blueprints, and the creature blueprints would only be sending data to like Unreal Engine for like figuring out where like the creatures are or some basic like different mechanics, but like the creature engine would never interact with the building engine because the creatures inherently aren't dealing with buildings, right? Um, Unless they are, maybe there's a thing where I do want them to do that. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I mean, that's just like, I think at its core, that's just good game design of making the smallest possible module that can be a game. And a lot of people do that. They'll do like game jams or whatever, where they do a single concept and then they turn it into a full game later. So that's my thought, is like, okay, if I can kind of game jam style, like quickly iterate on one specific thing, and I don't have to worry too much about the other aspects of the game. Now, obviously, I want to have like forward thinking on, okay, well, what is my outcome in the far future looking like? So I can be prepared when I'm building different systems. It's like, how is this going to work? Like an example, if I'm going to have asynchronous like multiplayer with the creatures, and then asynchronous multiplayer with the dungeons, and maybe having parties later, it's like, okay, well, how does this all like fit in? Is there anything I need to do with the creatures now as I'm building the core foundation? Do I have to think about multiplayer at all with the core creatures? And obviously, I'm using this as an example. Like intuitively, you'd think probably not, but like, I don't know. It depends. Maybe people are piloting creatures. That would be totally different, right? Then, like, yeah, of course, then it would have to be very different if they're piloting the creature. Whereas if the creature is kind of auto battling instead, that's very different. Same thing with like, okay, you have this auto battling system. How does that react when you have a player? Because, of course, if you have creature versus creature, that's cool. But what about player versus creature? That would also be cool. Kind of Dark Souls-esque. But again, that's stuff where it's like, that would be a whole new system to be the player system. Creating like the levels and the skills and the talent trees and all of that stuff for customization. And then, it's like, okay, well, how does that? But anyway, I'm kind of rambling. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna really think about it over the next couple days, and do a little research before I start putting code down. But also, I don't want it to be a let's think about it for 8 months. That's not like, I've done that in the past. I've learned from my mistakes. So I'm going to give myself a brief window to do research, a couple days. And, I have enough experience with the different engines to where it's like, I don't want to just default to Unreal Engine just because it's Unreal Engine. I want to seriously think about like, okay, what kind of art style do I want this creature game to look like? Since it's going to be, kind of customize and create your own, do I even like worry about the art style? Or do I do something where it's like, I give foundational things that can then be warped to make your guy look however you want him to look? what are the foundational pieces like? What do they look like? Are they just really simple meshes that can then be stretched around and played with to make them look cool? Like what does that look like? These are the questions I need to kind of like answer on, okay, what's the best engine for me to do this from? Because I don't want it to be like, well, I did it in Unreal Engine and I used Nanite and suddenly the game runs at 10 FPS because it's super bloated because it's a huge game engine that's doesn't really do the best at anything. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, I just baked in everything because that's how I'm supposed to do it, right? It's like, maybe not. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, I don't know. I'm just doing some brainstorming, I guess. But I think I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good night. Also, okay, I want to point out one other thing I noticed. I've been noticing the longer my videos are, the less people watch them. And I'm like, I wonder if, I've like stayed away from doing shorts and like shorter content because I don't want to like hamstring myself into a specific type of content right now. I'm still exploring to see like what fits. I know that the vlogs are like really like at this point I think it's a staple that I'm going to continue doing. But I don't know what other content will show up. But maybe doing some little shorts, maybe that could be a fun little experiment where I do some shorts. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Have a good night. I'll see you all tomorrow. And maybe I'm gonna go walk outside again. I don't know. We'll see. Bye.